Welcome to our Amud Yomi Shiur. We are about to learn yet another amazing, fascinating Amud of the Holy Gemara, Kiddushin Lamed Vav Amud Aleph Baruch Hashem. We're in the middle of the topic. The topic is women and mitzvahs. Do women have to fulfill the mitzvahs, the commandment? Well, some of them they do, most of them they do, some of them don't. We also discussed the fact that women are exempt from some of the mitzvahs, actually only 3. In other words, mitzvahs lo taseh, negative commandments, only there are 3 negative commandments in which women are exempt from, and these are a kohenes, a daughter or wife of a kohen. They are allowed to come in contact with dead and become tumas meis. And then also, what else did we see? We also have 2 other isurim. These are korcho. They're allowed to, not korcho, I mean, peas roishchom, to kifur, they're allowed to shave their hair over here while men are not allowed to. And we saw the source yesterday. And also shaving, if a woman has facial hair that's excessive, she's allowed to cut it whichever way she wants. I emailed you yesterday what I saw from the Shulchan Aruch, whether a woman can cut a man's hair in a way that's forbidden, assuming the man stands there like a statue, doesn't cooperate, yeah? So it's a machlokes. Some people say that it goes to the extent, women, lo takif, what's lo takif? It's an active thing. Do not cut the hair that way, or don't shave with a razor. So a woman, according to some, is allowed to do it to a man, and some say no, only to herself or to other women, okay? The machlokes, that's not the sugya right here, it's a sugya nozir, as far as I remember. I'm just telling you it's a machlokes. Now, can a man be a passive partner in going to the barber and receiving such a haircut? Again, that's another shaila, not so connected to learning right now, but since I mentioned it, I'll say. So again, the isser is not as severe. The real isser is on the barber, the one who actually does the haircut, the one who actually takes the razor and cuts the beard, or takes the shaver and cuts over here. I'm saying on purpose, razor here and shaver here. I meant what I said. Yeah, and that is the barber. But if you're going there as a willing partner, you're at least Misel Dvarvera, if not worse, right? You go to the barber, you tilt your head, then what? Then at least it's leaf never towards him. And some people say it's even worse. You're mamish part of the Avera of Tekifu. So definitely that's not allowed, even if he's a goy. Even if the barber is a goy, you should not allow other people. I'm saying, if a guy comes to you and you're standing like a statue like this, and you don't move, and he came to your house, maybe that would be a kula. Ask your rabbi. But if you go to the barber shop and you ask him to do it, and you go like that, there's no lifnei either because he's allowed to do it. Yeah. But if you're a willing partner by moving around and this and that, and the guy is the one doing the haircut, still you are mishtatef in the mitzvahs of lo takifu. Yeah, and that is also okay. That's just a little bit of an tangent. Now, we spoke also yesterday, and this is what we're about to see now. And before we continue today's Amud, after the introduction, I want to welcome everybody here in the Avas Shalom Kol of Shemesh, and also to our viewers in Torah Anytime and our YouTube channel. Abaye Omar. Abaye is about to tell us another Chiddush. We saw yesterday that Isi, there is the opinion of Isi. Isi, the Tana, Isi said that there's another prohibition that women are exempt from. What is that? Lo yikrechu korcho. Lo yikrechu korcho means there's a prohibition. I can't really show because I'm not such a good model for lo yikrechu korcho. Yeah, maybe from here. Yeah, if somebody chas v'shalom has a relative who died and he wants to show sorrow spontaneously or dramatically, he wants to literally tear his hair out, yeah, in order to show sorrow, that's not allowed. It says twice in the Torah, once about Kohanim and once about Klal Yisrael. Lo yikrechu korcho beroishom, yeah, or lo yikrechu ben einehem. It says in the other place, you're not allowed to tear the hair of your head as demonstration of sorrow. Says Isi, no, by women that's allowed, or at least they are potur. I'll be careful. Yeah, maybe there is a Darabanon, but me'ikar din, women don't have that severe isser of tearing the hair over the dead person. Why? Yesterday we said, Isi said, because it says in the pasuk, you are very welcome to look now in the chart, in the list of psukim. In the psukim over here, psukim number 3, in Dvorim, it says, Bonim atem la'Hashem Elokeichem, lo tisgodedu v'lo tasimu kocho b'neinechem lemeis. Bonim, boys and not girls. You are boys, you are sons. You are the sons of Hashem. Lot is going to do not scratch or literally cut. You know, people nowadays they do cutting. Don't cut your skin. Don't tear out your hair. Over that person, men and not women. That's how we explained Isi yesterday. Women don't have the Isser, at least not the Araisa, of tearing their hair over the dead. Up until now, that was the introduction. Abaye Omar. Abaye is now explaining the same opinion of Isi, but in a different way. Abaye says, Hainu Tame de Isi. That's the real reason of Isi. Why does Isi allow women, at least lechatchila, at least midoraisa, sorry, to tear off their hair? The Gomar kolcha mibnei Aaron. We learn it as a gzera shava kolcha mibnei Aaron. You're welcome to look at the psukim by bnei Aaron. It says, yeah, you see the end of the second group of psukim. It says about the kohanim. Okay, korcho. And in the posuk in Dvorim, in the bottom of the page, it says lo tasimu korcho. That's an ask shova for me. Korcho. And the assumption is, what does it to do with women? The assumption is that it says over there, but in the middle psukim, in group number 2, in Parshas Emoir, it says bnei Aaron. Oh, the children. No, it doesn't mean the children. It means the sons of Aaron. The sons of Aaron, the Kohanim, have all these prohibitions, including korcho, but women, kohanois, they don't have the isser of korcho. And now we say peas, which means everybody, whether you're kohenes or regular woman, you're always potu. There is no prohibition of korcho. This is what Abai wants to say. Korcho mibnei Aaron. Let's continue. Malala noshim pturois. Just like by the kohanos, it says bnei Aaron. Afkan noshim pturois. So too over here, women are exempt. Women are not in the Isser at all, whether kohanis or Israelis. She's not in the story of korcho, and she can tear out her hair over the dead. Okay. Correct the Gemara. Now the Gemara wants to actually challenge what we just said, because again, as we said yesterday, it's not so clear that the words bnei Aaron in the middle group of psukim, the group number 2, bnei Aaron, he talks about tuma, and then he talks about korcho and skonim, all the hair stuff. Yeah. So I don't know if bnei Aaron, like when do you stop reading? When does the exclusion of women stop? When do you say that bnei Aaron, not bnei Aaron, stop? Maybe loikruchu korcho already applies to both genders. We don't know. You assume, says the Gemara, that bnei Aaron and not bnei Aaron goes as far as also the posuk of korcho. How do you know? Let's see what the Gemara says. If you're so sure that the words bnei Aaron is bekule inyana, is coming to cover the entire topic, including the topic of korcho, of tearing the hair. If so, nishtak krominei, v'teisi b'kal v'chomer, let the pasuk not say anything of gzera shava. Let the gzera shava be out the window. I don't need the gzera shava. The ano amina and v'teisi b'kal v'chomer, I could figure it out myself with my own logic. Why should the Torah kivyochol waste energy to teach me gzera shava? I can figure it out myself. Kal v'chomer is a very nice thing. Kal v'chomer is a combination of, one of the ways you learn the Torah and human logic. I can figure it out myself. But kal v'chomer, no amina, I would have figured it out myself. Uma kohanim, the same kal v'chomer we said yesterday. This more is very similar to the more we saw yesterday, by the way. And we would say as follows: Uma kohanim sheri be'bemakos u'mitzvos yiseros. Kohanim have many more mitzvahs than Israelim. Aseh, lotase, all kinds of things. And yet, although Kohanim are frumer, more machmir, and yet it says bnei Aaron v'lo bnei Aaron, and yet even there, the women, Kohanos, are excluded, and they feel very terrible that their brother died at war, chas shalom, and they tear their hair, and we're okay with that. That's a kula. Yisrael kol sheken. Israel all the more so, a regular Israelis for sure. Yeah, so why do you need the Gzera Shava exactly? Elamai must be, if there is a Gzera Shava, right, then must be wrong. And really, that those words, Bnei Aaron, do not apply to Korcho, right? Because if they would apply to Korcho, Gzera Shava would be redundant. Just the Torah should have taught me, Bnei. Everything only applies to male Kohanim, not to Bnei Kohanim, including tearing hair. It only applies to men and to women. And I would say, well, for sure, the Benois Israel, the regular girls, yeah, like my daughter and your daughter, for sure they're exempt. Elamai must be that really the whole pasuk stopped, that the Bnei Aaron, Vlobenos Aaron, that limud stopped short before the hair business, before the korcha, and really korcha applies to both genders, and the woman kohenis and the woman Israelis is really, yeah, is really not allowed to tear her hair. Yeah. Question. Asks the Gemara, and similar to what you were saying, basically, what do you want to tell me? You do have Exer Shava, which means, let me explain something. Before we continue to the next step, I want to explain something which I think we understood yesterday. If not, I'm repeating it again because it's important. Xeris Shavas are there, whether you like it or not. Xeris Shavas, if you learned it from your Rov, yeah, if you learned it from your Rebbe, yeah, Xer Shava is there. I would compare Xer Shava to an empty box that has to be filled. Yeah. Yeah, in other words, Gzershava means there's a link. You know, a link on the computer. You click on it. Hopefully, only for Torah good things. Something will come up, right? The website, the landing page, something will be there. Okay. So now, when we have Gzerashava, there's a box there. Logical people, you see a box in someone's house is carrying a box. There is something in there, right? Oh, according to that, let's understand the following. I'll give you a moshel. I'll give you a moshel to explain to the next question. Let's say you have a friend, you know, he's a nice, logical guy, he's not a crazy guy, and you heard a rumor, you're not sure, you heard a rumor that he started dealing with small kitchen appliances. He started the business, yeah, of selling microwaves, okay, or small toaster ovens, yeah. You're not sure. You heard 50%. You're not the biggest yachne. You don't really know, yeah. And one day you see him holding boxes and carrying boxes that seem by the size of a microwave. You put two and two together. I know this guy's not a mishugana. He's not carrying empty boxes just for the fun of it. Oh, I'm not sure whether he's dealing with microwaves. Okay. And I see he has a box. Mistama, the box is not empty. Mistama, there's a microwave inside, right? Mistama, not. Oh, a nimshal is like that. He doesn't hear you. You feel bad. Yeah. Says the Gemara, Ilav Gzerashova, Havamina Hifsika Inyan, which means, if not for the Gzerashova, we are not sure, microwave or not, meaning we don't know how to read the Pasuk. Do you say Bnei Aaron, V'lo B'noi Aaron relates to Korcha or doesn't? I don't know, 50-50. I don't know where to stop the Pasuk. There's a box. Where's the box? Gzerashova. If there is a Gzerashova, Kolcho, and that Gzerashova is here to stay, that Gzerashova is not optional or potential. It's there. So I don't know, but it's very likely that if there is a Gzerashova, Kolcho, that's meant to hold something, there's something in the box, there's something in the Gzerashova. 1 second. There's something in the Gzerashova, there's something in the, please. There's something in the Gzerashova, must be what? Must be that the Gzerashova is telling me that really the Pasuk is continuing all the way to exclude women from Korcha. Therefore, the Gzerashava will tell me, just like women are exempt by Kohanos from Korcha, they're exempt even if they're not Kohanos from Korcha. That's the logic. The Gzerashava invites me to say there is a halacha here, but the women, yeah, meaning they're exempt from Korcha. Yeah, okay. Zog the Gemara, no, there's something else in the box. Says the Gemara, no. Ashtanami ifsika inyan. No, I can still think that there is no microwave. Meaning, I would say no. Really, the pasuk stops short, and really, bnei and not bnois is telling me what? Is telling me women are exempt from tuma. That's agreed by all. And really, korcha does apply to women, and the pasuk of korcha says women should not tear their hair either. Excuse me, but there's Gzer Shava. So what will do with the Gzer Shava? You have an empty Gzer Shava? No, I feel it was something else. He's dealing with flower pots, with yoga mats. The Imishum Gzer Shava, you're worried to leave an Gzer Shava empty? Nishkedaikit, don't worry. There is another thing which I already know. I already have a ready-made Gzer Shava that teaches me another halacha. That Gzer Shava of Korcha Kocha is teaching me something else. Mibaile, look at the Tanya. The Gzer Shava, which you're so worried and said, you have to learn it for something. I learned it for something. Look at the following brisa, Mefurish. It says all kinds of details regarding the Isser Korcha Isser of tearing your hair out, yeah, that Isser has its what you call it, yeah, has its details learned from Zereshova. It says like this: Lo yikrechu. It says that they should not, yeah, cause what's karachas, bald. Don't create bald spots. Yochel afilu korach arba v'chamesh karochos lo yechai velo achas. Let's say the person tore one patch of hair, another patch of hair, another one, yeah, yeah, whatever. Yeah, 4 or 5. Would it be chayv only one? Yeah, I'll ask you a question. Let's say somebody cooked on Shabbos 5 times. How many chatoros would he bring in one helim? One. Very good. You guys are all amazing Talmidei Chachamim. Somebody forgot that today is Saturday, and what? And he cooked 5 times, and then he remembered only one. So it's not so simple. You always have per avera, right? So maybe if you koreach 5 times, 5 times, maybe you'll be chayv only one malchus, only one set of lashes. Talmud lo emar korcho lechayv el kolachas ve'achas. It says lo yikrechu korcho. That's a heck of a lot of words for the Torah. He's saying the same word twice, yeah? Right? Lo yikrach korcho. Don't create a bald spot, a bald spot. It's extra. Yeah, it's extra. To tell me you chayv on each and every korcha, yikrechu korcha, every time you pull a bunch of hair out of your head, yeah, every action is machav you 39 malchus. Better control yourself, yeah? Beroisho matal mudloima, and continues the Torah to teach me lo yikrechu korcha beroisho. Well, obviously, where else can you be koreach? Well, in the head. It says the Gemara, no. Lefi shenemar lo tisgoidedu velo tasimu korcho bein einechem lemeis. You can look in the chart. In the last pasuk, in the last group of psukim, number 3, Parshas Rei, lo tasimu korcho bein einechem lemeis. Up until now, I elegantly avoided it. I dodged out, but now we're facing the truth. It says, don't place korcho bein einechem. Bein einechem, between your eyes, yeah? Between your eyes. I don't have it between my eyes, yeah? What does it mean? Yeah. Maybe ben ha'inayim is the ben ha'inayim of tefillin. So maybe the only chiv, if you only learn Parshas Dvorim, Parshas Re'eh, I mean, yeah, I would say maybe here the place of tefillin is choshuv, ben ha'inechem. Don't tear the hair from ben ha'inechem. Yeah, maybe minayin l'rabas kol harosh. How do you know that if I tear hair from the other part of any other part of the head of the skull, I'm chayav from the back and from here and from here? How do you know? Talmud loyma beroishom. Very good. That's why in Parshas Emor, by the Koyanim, it says beroishom. Lechayav al harosh keben ha'inayim. To tell me not only ben ha'inayim is chayav, you know, not only chayav if you tear from over here, you're chayav from anywhere. By the way, again, I'm telling you, we're still at this point, we still don't know why did the Torah speak in such a seemingly strange way, ben ha'inayim, right? It's misleading. But we do know that we have to make a clear hekeshir gzerashava that just like by Kohanim, it says roishom, yeah, means the entire head. So too, if I'm Israel, which I happen to be Israel, I'm chayav on any part of the head and not only ben ha'inayim, as is indicated there. Now, what about the other way around? Let's now do import export the other way. The enli el kohanim shiri be'bemakos u'mitzvos yeseros. Kohanim, oh, thank you. You tell me that just like a kohen is chayev for tearing his hair over the dead from here, yeah, over there I have here, you know, from here, and not only here, yeah, that's a kohen, shkoyach. A kohen, I'm not a kohen. How can you learn from a kohen to Israel? A kohen doesn't, not mitamal mesim, doesn't marry grusha, doesn't this. Thank you. How do you know from a kohen to Israel, right? How do you know? How can you so easily compare kohen to Israel? Very good. Logically, you're right. Had it been just up to your own logic, to your own binyan av, to your own idea, absolutely. But the Gzera Shava goes beyond your own little logic. Oh, very good. Just like you chayav on each and every action of pulling out the hair, every pull you chayav, and you chayav ben ha'inayim, although it talks about kohanim, aflalan chayav al kol kocha vekolcha, the chayav al rosh ben ha'inayim. Very good. So too by regular Israel, although normally Israelim are more lenient, or we are lenient with Israel more than kohanim, thank you very much. Comes Gzer Shava Korcha Korcha to tell you the bad news, even though you're Israel, still all the halachas of Koyanim of Yikirchu Korcha Ben Rosham, each and every Korcha, and any place, yeah, you have Malchus, and each and every spot on your head, you have Kohen, so to by Israel, Korcha Korcha. 1 second, 1 second. Now, Umala Alan al Meis, Afkan al Meis. How do you know that Korcha is over a Meis? Excuse me. You look at Pasha Semor. Why am I brainwashing you? Look, it says maybe it means tam. Don't have a fashionable bald spot. Maybe it's the latest fashion. How do you know it's to do with the mace? Look in Dvorim. Look at number 3. It says lo tasimu kocha benenechem lemeis. The beginning of the second line of section 3. Lemeis. So we have Gzera Shava, right? It says Pasha say lo tasimu kocha benenechem lemeis. I think mace means a dead person. No, yeah. In other words, we know that just like by Israelim, the chiv is only over a dead person, and not Stam he's tearing his hair because it's nice, or he has, I don't know, OCD, whatever. Yeah. So to by Koyanim, it's only over a mace. Thank you for your patience. Yeah. Imken. 1 second. So again, let's summarize the question. We found now a very big, healthy gezunta, Xera Shava. We found inside the box, to go back to my mashal, there's no microwave. There's there is all treasure of golden jewelry. We found a very gezunta material to fill in the Gzera Shava, right? Of korcha korcha that has nothing to do with women. You tell me, because it's the Gzera Shava, I have nothing to do with the Gzera Shava. Must be women are excluded. No way. I found a very nice idea, which is practical every day. Chas v'sholom. It shouldn't be practical every day. Talking over dead people, the war should be over very soon. But if somebody has lo leinu, a dead relative, yeah, we learned a lot of halachas from it. 3 halachas we learned. Only over a dead person, any place in the hair, not just bein nechem, and also to teach me that on each and every pool is chayav 39 malchus. Can you imagine? Is chayav 5, let's say a person tore 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is chayav 5 times 39 malchus. How much is 5 times 39? Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Wow. 5 times 39. Yeah. Yep. You. Okay. Wow. So then, okay. Say it, Rabbi. You're talking to, you're talking to, okay. So. So now, why are you telling me that you know for sure that women are not chayv in korcha? They're chayv in korcha very nicely, and the words bnei Aaron only excludes tuma, doesn't exclude the women, and Isi is in trouble. We don't have a source now for Isi that tells me the women are excluded from korcha. I prefer answering very quickly. It's a very short answer, and then I'll get to you. Answers the Gemara quick, nice and short. Yeah, imken, so short and sweet. Nichtov korkra korach, my korcho shmas mim natarti. Unbelievable. The Torah could have written lo yikrechu kereach or korach, kereach, kerach. Yeah, kerach would be, I guess, kerach is not ice. Kerach means korach. I guess is his bald spot. Why does it say korcho? There's an extra hey. It's teaching me both. What do you mean both? One of them teaches me the details of korcha we just learned, and the hey teaches me to include a woman, actually to exclude a woman, and to tell me women are excluded. If women are excluded, obviously must be bnei Aaron only comes to exclude them from, it comes to exclude them also from korcha, and that is Isi's source. So Bekitzer, Isi's source in short is korcha. Just like bnei Aaron are exempt from tearing the hair over a dead, bnei Aaron, lo bnei Aaron, it goes all the way till there. So to any regular woman is potter from korcha. That's the source according to Abaye. Yes. Thank you for your patience. It's Gzera Shava. It's Gzera Shava. Korcha. Gzera Shava. For women. Very good. Beautiful. Lovely. Nice. Baruch just summarized it very nicely. One of them is teaching you the details, and one of them to exclude women. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes, parents. No, good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. To use my mashal, the box has 2 compartments, and you didn't see both of them. You thought there's gold and diamonds. It has a double bottom. Yeah? there's a microwave. Yeah, maybe smuggling it. Yeah. In other words, there are two parts to the box. There are two parts where you're not aware of it. You thought it's either or, it's both. He both has silver and gold, which you saw, and he also has a microwave. So both are. That's in my mashal, that would be the nimshal. I want to just share with you good news. In the middle of everything, I want you to know that Be'ezras Hashem, if everything goes well, by my cheshbon, in about 2 weeks from now, we should be finishing Perek Rishon. And Perek Rishon of Kiddushin is the longest one in Shas. The longest chapter, the longest Perek Gemara in Shas is Kiddushin. I was 99% sure about it myself, and yesterday I checked it in Otzar Chochma forum, the internet forum of Otzar Chochma. They also said it. Yeah, that Kiddushin is the longest Perek. The first week is 40 dapi. I mean, 39 because it starts on Amud base, but it goes up to Daf Mem. So you're about to conquer the longest Perek in Shas. Longer than Cheskas Sabati and longer than Chelek. Right. Rave Omar, third opinion, Rave says a very, very simple way to understand why Isi exempts women from Korcho. Rave Omar, Hainu time with the Isi, you know why Isi exempts women from Korcho? The Yolif Bein Einechem Tfilin, very simple. Bein Einechem is teaching you, just like Tfilin, so to Korcho, meaning, Malala Noshim Pturois, we all know that women are exempt from tefillin, as we said, because it's samuch to Talmud Torah. Women are exempt from tefillin, and that's actually the source for all mitzvahs such as Zman Gomo. Afkan Noshim Pturos. Period. In other words, we see that the words Bein Einechem appears regarding Korcho in Dvorim, in Parshas Rei. Good. Look right over here, right? It says, Lo tesimu Korcho Bein Einechem. Bein Einechem sounds to me very, very tefillin-like. That's very exactly just like women are potter from tefillin, they are potter from korcho, from tearing the hair over the mace. All very nice. Nice, that's Rove. Now, end of Rove. Now, frag the Gemara, Abaye, excuse me, the Rove, my time alomar Abaye. Why did Rove not use the Gzereshov of Abaye of korcho? Yeah, to teach me just like korcho by koihano is their potter, so to korcho by Israelios in Parshas Rei, they're exempt. Answers the Gemara, Korach Korcho lo mashmalei. Abaye had to use the extra Gzereshova to put two Gzereshovas in one. Kerach and the Hey of Korcho is teaching me about the women. Says Rava, I don't hold of it. I don't think the one letter teaches you so much. Yeah, it's just a stylistic thing. The Torah is not trying to teach me anything new from Korcho to exclude women. I need another source from Tefillin. I Abaye my time alone Kerove. Abaye, why doesn't he say like Rove? Why doesn't Abaye use the very simple Gzereshova of Rove? Just like here it says Ben Einechem lemeis over Korcho over the mace, so too, just like Tefillin are Ben Einechem, the women are potter, so too Korcho Ben Einechem, women are potter. Amar Lecha says Abaye, I'll tell you where I disagree with Rove. Because, and here by the way, it's the first time we're going to learn why is the Torah really teaching me Bein Einechem. Why is the Torah using the term Bein Einechem? Well, really, it's all over the head. What are we gaining from that? Says the Gemara as follows: Tefillin gufayu ma'acha gomer lo. I use that loshon of Bein Einechem to learn the actual halachas of tefillin, which means, let me ask you a question: where do you put your tefillin? Where do you position the phylacteries? Bein Einechem. Well, Bein Einechem, between your eyes. Well, I think. Says Rabbi Sylvia, said the Karoim, the Tzdukim, what did they say here? Ben Einechem, right? No, how do you know otherwise? Oh, Ma lehalan mokum shosim korcho begoyva shel roish, afkan mokum anocha begoyva arosh. Just like it says mefurish in the Torah, lo tasimu korcho bein einechem lemeis. Last time I checked, most people, unless those who have like one long eyebrow, which is one of the mumim, one of the mumim is when you have one eyebrow, through and through. Most of us don't have hair over here, right? So korcho doesn't apply to here. Korcho applies to, when I was young and pretty, I could do korcho over here. Don't anymore, yeah? Korcho applies to where you have hair over here. So just like bein einechem clearly means, yeah, the vertical line above the bein einechem, right? Clearly, because korcho, tearing hair, means here, bein einechem. So to by tefillin, The Mokam Hanacha is the Goiva Haroish too. Therefore, tefillin also should be located, yes, Ben Einechem, meaning a direct line above Ben Einechem, where Korcha. I'm going to say something now that Baruch is going to like. I prophesize you're going to like it. I was thinking, what's the connection between tefillin and Korcha? You don't have to like it just because I said so. It's fine. Yeah. Korcha, what's the idea of Korcha? You look ugly. You look overly sad. You took it too much. In other words, you're Hashem's son. It means two things. It says in the Mefoshim. Hashem's children look good and respectful, and Hashem's children are not controlled with their emotions. Yeah, you see Gdolim. I saw Moshe Shimon Weintraub, my Meshgiach in Yeshiva, when his daughter was nifter. It was such a terrible tragedy. He was walking in the Levaya, and he was looking to Shemaim with such kedusha. Gave me tremendous. Him and his son, the widower and the father of the dead of the nifteres, big tzedekis, Rebbetzin Rachel Weiss, and they were like looking above, like with such emuna, and they were like in the higher world. How can you compare that to people? I'm not judging anyone, chas v'sholem. People who are besides themselves and they go crazy with emotions, and you can't judge them obviously when somebody's nifter. But the Torah is telling you, yeah, if you're the ben of Hashem, you control your emotions. You're a choshev a person. Yeah, you should look good and feel respectful. And then that's tefillin. Tefillin is like a crown. You're connected to Hashem. What you should have ben enechem is the crown over your head. You're ben melech. Your tefillin is like like the Wi-Fi, the walkie-talkie connecting you to Hashem. You're connected and you're royal with tefillin. And the opposite of tefillin is when you tear your hair like a meshuganet. I think these are the two opposites of the same idea. That's just my own idea that came up to me this morning. Maybe right, maybe wrong. Stam, an idea. Take it or leave it. Yeah, and yes, actually, we can ask questions now. Yeah, we're not in North Korea at the moment. Tighter. Now comes the Gemara with the following. Let's summarize, and then we'll get the next question. From now on, the Gemara is much easier, by the way. Now, 1 second. Summarize. According to the original opinion, why did Isi say that women are exempt from Korcha? Because it says Bonim v'lo banos. Finished. Bonim atem l'Hashem Elokechem, sons and not daughters. Abaya said they're shova Korcha Korcha. Rava said tefillin. Tefillin are not for women. Sorry, lady. And so to Korcha is not for ladies, meaning you may do that if you want, or at least not do it. Finished. Now the obvious question is, wait a second, let's calculate everything. Let's try and tie the loose ends. Now, Uben Labai, Uben Larova asks the Gemara, Hi, Boni Matem, my Darshibei. According to Abai and Rova, you don't learn the exclusion of women from Korcha. You don't learn it from Boni Matem. So why is the Torah telling me Boni Matem? In the middle of the Parshas Rei, yeah, it's all halachas, 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 halachas. Boni Matem l'Shem Elokechem. What is it coming to teach me? Halacha, Ashkofa, Musar. Why is it Kivyochol inserted there in the middle? Boni Matem. You're not learning excluding women. So what do you learn? Answers the Gemara. Hi, mi boy. Yes, it's coming to tell me Dvar Musar. Unbelievable. It's coming to tell me hashkafic idea. Like a Detanya. It says, Boni Matem l'Hashem Elokechem. You are sons to Hashem, your God. Bizman shatem noyagim minag bonim, atem kruim bonim. Enatem noyagim minag bonim, enatem kruim bonim. Diva Rabbi Yehuda. Says Rabbi Yehuda, when you behave like sons, when you behave like Hashem's sons, you show loyalty, you show love, you behave as you're supposed to behave. Then you are called Hashem. Okay. So now, what do we say? Bonim atem l'Hashem Elokechem. When you behave like bonim, then you are l'Hashem Elokechem. You behave like a son, then Hashem calls you my son. We're not the biological children of Hashem. I mean, He created us, yeah. But bonim is a spiritual thing. You disconnected yourself from Hashem. It works both ways. You need two for tango. Hashem says you're not my son anymore. Bonim atem, as long as you are l'Hashem Elokechem. That's Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Meir Oimer, no. Rabbi Meir is much more midas arachamim. Rabbi Meir says as follows: Ben kach uben kach atem kuim bonim. You always call Hashem's children. As we're going to see, there are different levels, but regardless of what you do, You're always considered Hashem's children, Hashem's sons and daughters, regardless to your spiritual level. And he, because his shita is more, avant-garde, Rabbi Meir now has to prove his point from many, many places that although we are naughty children, we are still called Hashem's children. How do we know that? He's going to bring us 4 sources, and each source is for a different kind of level. Shenema, it says, first wide line, Kiddushin Lamed Vav Amud Aleph. Lamed Vav Amud Aleph. How do you know, by the way, that this, how will you remember for your entire life that Rabbi Meir says that you're always considered Hashem's children even when you sin? It's a daf Lamed Vav Tzadikim. Hashem always looks at us as if we're the Lamed Vav Tzadikim. Lamed Vav Amud Aleph, remember? So anybody asks you the question, how do you know? How do you know? Tell him, Kiddushin Lamed Vav. Bonim Scholim Hema. Yeah, it says Bonim Scholim Hema. The Navi in Yirmiyahu, yeah, calls the Bnei Israel Bonim Scholim Hema. There are children who are foolish. Yeah, you are foolish Bonim. So you're called foolish Bonim. It's a Chiddush B'chlal to call you a son. You are Hashem's foolish children, but you're still children. Ve'omer Bonim loy emun bam. It says in the Shira Sazinu, Bonim, they are my children, loy emun bam. I lost my trust in them. They're not trustworthy, they are not loyal. Yeah, they're not faithful, whichever way you want to call it. Ve'omer, each pasuk we're going to go into later. Ve'omer, a third pasuk, that's in Yeshayahu, Zera Mireim, Bonim Mashchisim. Yeah, they are Zera of, they just do bad. Bonim Mashchisim. They are children, they are my children, but they're Mashchisim, they destroy. They're destructive. Worse. Soon we're going to see what that means. The Oimer, and then it says on a positive, hopeful note, instead of telling them you're not my nation, Yomer Lahem, it will be told to them in future. I will tell them, Bnei Kel Chai, you are the children. Yeah, I'm not rejecting you. You are the children of a live Kel, of Hashem Chai. My Oimer, like we got the point. Why does Rabbi Meir have to tell us so many sources? Yeah, and so many from the Navi, from the Chumash. Well, what's the business? Why the sources? Answers the Gemara. Had you only told me the first pasuk, what's the first pasuk? Banim scholim heima. They're foolish. They behave so foolishly, and still I call them my children. Okay, I would have said sichlihu demikri. I would say, okay, sichlihu demikri boni. Right? In other words, they did something really stupid. Ever happened to you that a teenager did something really stupid? I know it never happens. No, I'm stam and fertile imagination, right? Your teenager did something not vicious, not something. He got into some foolish trouble. Either he'll have to pay for it, you'll have to pay for it. You'll talk to the menahel, you'll do whatever. Yeah, he did something really stupid. Okay, I'm sorry for the word. Yeah, allow me once. Yeah. So the children, okay, still my son, in spite of the. What can I do? Forgive me for saying the word you don't like. But however, when he did something unfaithful, when he worked against me, right? Imam is doing something where I would have lost my trust. That's something worse, more vicious. Yeah, he's behaving in a way that is unloyal and disloyal. I checked, by the way, both are right. Unloyal, disloyal, both grammatically correct. Yeah, I checked that. Yeah, so Mekribani, they're not faithful. Maybe they're not called children at that point. It's worse. Yeah, it's deeper in the psyche of the person. Toshma the oimer bonim lo emun bam. Although there's no emun, there's no trust in them, they're still my children. Okay. The chitema, we're deteriorating as we go along. Yeah, the chitema kiles bu emnu so the mikrobonim. Okay. They're not trustworthy, whatever that means. They're really not going the ways of Hashem. Can't trust them. The third pasuk said what? It says bani mashchisim. Avodah zara is a shchoso, right? It says here. Rashi brings the pasuk. It says pentashchisu masisem pesel. The worship of a zara. That's the worst possible. Then lumikru bonim. Maybe then, excuse me, they're not called bonim. There's a limit. Maybe then they're not called bonim because they worshipped of the Zara. Although they are mashchisim, they are destroying, they are mamish destructive in their behavior, and yet they're destroying the world. And yet they're still called my sons. However, as we see in Rashi, at this point, if a person worships of the Zara, he's not a good son. He's still a son, but it's less, the connection is less. And now I'm going to prove it to you from the next point. The chitema, now we're about to get into the fourth pasuk. The chitema, boni mashchisim with the mikru, b'nei me'alya lo mikru. What did I just tell you? Boni mashchisim, they're bad kids. Bad kids, they're my children. What can I do? But they're not boni me'alya, meaning even in future they have no choice, they have no hope. Maybe just like they're bad, or if they're amazing. Guy started in Ponevezh in Bells and he's doing over the Zora. Yeah. So what can I do? Is Mamish a bad kid? Is he hopeless? Will he ever be called Bani Me'alia, a good son in future? Toshma, yes, he will. Instead of calling them you who are not my nation, that's in future. In other words, when Bnei Israel behave in a foolish way or untrustworthy, Hashem still called us his good children. They're good, but they're doing shtriot. Avodah Zarah crossed the red line. Avodah Zarah, you're not a good kid, but you are my kid, which means if you go back to me, I'll accept you with open arms. Even if the person worshipped Avodah Zarah, one of the worst three Averis in the world, in the Torah, Hashem still leaves the door open for you to be accepted and be his bane. So that's according to Rabbi Meir. There's a song like that by Avram Fried. It's a medrash also it's in the medrash, a medrash in Parshas Re'eh. Yeah, I mean Parshas Re'eh and also a song. I would put it in that order. Are you good? Are you happy? Baruch Hashem. Mishnah? Are we ready for the next Mishnah? Beautiful. We are only two, if I'm not mistaken, Mishnahs to go, or maybe three, till the end of the Perek. I think 3 Mishnahs. We'll see. Says the Heilige Mishnah, we're going now to have a crash course in Kodshim. In Avodas Korbanos, imagine yourself that we are in Beis HaMikdash. So many Rabbanim say that now is mamish the final days of the Golus. Let's expect Mashiach. Let's anticipate. Says the Mishnah, we're going now to read a list. We're going to go through a list of activities, either avoidus or things that are not exactly avoidus. Most of them are avoidus that were done and will be done in Beis HaMikdash. The common denominator being that they only apply to men, not to women, with ramifications. What happens if a woman did it? Now we're going to go nice and slow through the list of different activities in Beis HaMikdash. Number 1, hasmichos. What's a smicha? A person who brings the korban to Beis HaMikdash, let's say brings the korban chatos. Before brings the korban chatos, he has to place his hands quite forcefully over the head of the behema. Let's say it's a regular guy who brought the korban, it's an iza, it's a female goat, yeah? And now he has to bring a female kisba, a female sheep, I'm saying, a female sheep, you're right, a female sheep, I'm sorry. You're right, the goat is for Bemelech, made a mistake. Right, thank you. Asmichois, he puts his head over the female shepsalet. Now, okay, I think so. Now, he puts his hand over the head of the animal, and he does the vidui, right? Another korbanos, sometimes it's positive things. I'm just giving an example, chatos. Okay, so that's smichos. A woman doesn't do that. A woman, as we're going to see in the Gemara, does not do smicha. Yeah, she doesn't place her hands over the animal. Atnufois, let's take, for example, korban. Tnufas are done many times. Tnufa means to pick up, to lift, yeah, like that, up and down and sidewise. Yeah, tnufa. And atnufois, let's say a person brings the korban shlomim. The korban shlomim, before you place the ivorim on the mizbeach, before the kohen does the aktoro and places some of the organs of the animal on the mizbeach, yeah, let's say the kishkas, most of them, and the stomach and all that. Before that, there's a tnufa. The kohen and the Yisrael together place their hands under what? The kilo hold over their hands. They're holding in their hands like that. The chose and the chalovim. Yeah, the fats, the fats of the intestines, yeah, and the chose, the chest. The chest goes to the kohen. He gets chazeh and shoik. Yeah, the thigh, and the kishkalach, they go on the mizbeach, they're called imurim. But before we have that separation, shlomim is all about unity. The kohen and Israel lift it together, yeah, those internal organs, they lift them up and down like that, and that is tnufa. A woman, in most cases, A woman doesn't do that. Tnufas are done many, many times. We're not going now to go through all the details, but a woman in general does not do tnufa. Now, whether she's an Israelis or a Kohenis, because the Kohenis, as we're going to see, does not work in Beis Mikdash at all. Women, Kohanos, never work in Beis Mikdash, as we're going to see. A smicha applies to a regular woman as well. A tnufa sometimes too, bailim. But a regular woman who brings the korban does not have smicha or tnufa. The agoshois. Agosha is what's done to a mincha. A mincha, yeah, you have a mincha, you have a meal offering, as it's called, a mincha. Before you do the kmitza, before the final stage, you take the whole kli with this dough inside, right? Or a few pieces of it's divided usually to 10 or so pieces of dough, or they're already fried, or they're already baked. There are 5 different types. And you take it and you touch with it the corner of the mizbeach, which is the southern western one. The southwest is the one which is to the side of the kevesh, of the ramp. Yeah, let's say this is the ramp, it's to your left there. So you touch it and you go backwards. That's it. And then you do the rest. The kmitzos. Oh, I brought a picture book to show you. Mitzah is the, one second. Yeah, when you bring a mincha, then what do? You have a mincha soiles, for example. You have this whole bowl of flour, and you do kmitza with your 3 middle fingers. You go like this. With those fingers, you go like you rub it off, and what's inside here goes into a kli and into the mizbeach. And that's the part that's most important. It's equivalent to the blood of the animal. Here, I'm sorry to people online. Yeah, that's too much, that's too little. Here, that's a kmitza. The flour that's inside those 3 fingers is what you kometz. You're like, okay, whatever. Sorry. You kometz, likmotz is like to collect like that, and that is the part you throw in the mizbeach. Women don't do that. Haktoro is simple. What's a ktoro? Hekter. Laktir is to take the pieces of flesh and throw them on the mizbeach. In most korbanos, it's just the imurim, the kishkalach. In oila, it's all the evorim, almost all the evorim, except for the horns and this. The melika is even nicer. Melika is not for the faint-hearted. A bird, you take a bird and you behead the bird. Yeah. You take the bird here between your fingers like this, the head over here, the tail over here, and with your finger, poof. Only the coin does that. Only the coin can do the melika. Look, that's korban. Look how nice. This is the head and this is the neck of the dove or the turtle dove, and he with his finger, long finger, he is moilek. Not allowed to do that. Otherwise, you do it from the nape, from the neck. That's why it's not allowed, right? Anyhow, it goes on the mizbech. The chatos, you do melika halfway. By chatos, you only do 1 siman, not the entire head. The akabolois is to accept the blood. You take the mazrek. The mazrek is a kli which does not have flat bottom. The bottom is on purpose sharp, so you can never leave it on the floor, so the dam will not congeal, or even worse, stay noiser. And you take that kli, and after a person shechted, by the way, Israelim can also shecht. Shchita can be done also by non-kohanim, but mikabola ve'elach, only kohanim. You accept the blood into the kli, it trickles down, it gushes down into the kli, and that kli, that avoida is already mamish an avoida. Only kohanim can do that, and only male kohanim, not female. Shchita can be done, by the way, shchita is not written here, because shchita can be done by men and women. Yeah, in Beis HaMikdash too, even foreign ones. Meaning, your daughter, your wife can do shchita in Beis HaMikdash. That's halacha. It says women was not accepted, but maker then it's allowed. The hazois. Hazo means to sprinkle. What kind of sprinkling? The Gemara will deal with. I'm not telling you now because hazois, yeah, the Gemara will deal with what kind of hazo. Is it hazo of paraduma, hazo of the blood of the bird? That will be discussed. All these, noegim banoshim veloy benoshim. All these apply to men and not to women. All these avoidos apply to men and not to women. Again, smicha is not an avoido. That's I'm not sure tnufa is, by the way. I'm pretty sure it's not. Not everything's called an avoido, but these activities, yeah, only apply to men, not to women. Chutz, except for mimin chasoito venezira shehen menifois. Yeah, one of the things you do tnufa on. I give an example from Shlomim. That's the example that actually the Gemara is going to give. but also mincha. When you bring a mincha, you also lift it up and down. Mincha oimer, mincha soita, which is brought obviously only by women, or nezira. A woman can be a nezira, not cut her hair, not knit malamesim. She says hareini nezira. It says isha can apply. There was a famous nezira. She was nezira 21 years. Yeah, Helenia Malka, Heleni. She was nezira for 7 years, and every time something happened. She was in Chutz La'aretz, so they told her Nazir's Chutz La'aretz is not considered Nazirus. She came to Eretz Yisrael, she started again, and then she messed up. I think she touched the dead or something. So again, she needed 7. She was very from queen. So 21 years she was Nazira. That's a very long hair, yeah. So then, Shehen Menifois. So Soito Nazira, they do lift the mincha when they bring the mincha, the korban, as we're going to explain. Frek Toisvas, excuse me. This seems to be redundant. Why? Because anyways, you're basically telling me the women are, not connected to the avodah. So based on mikdash, in all these avodas, okay, shchita. Most avodas the women cannot do. Says to us anyhow, it's mitzvah says shazman groma. What do you need? What do we need psukim for? We're going to bring psukim and chidushim. Why? Anyhow, it's mitzvah says shazman groma. Why? Tell me. Is based on mikdash active by night? As you? No, not at all. Haktoro. Okay, that's one thing. Most of the avodas are not done. None of the real avodas are done in at night. It's a daytime mitzvah. So just like everyone says, tefillin is only by day, so tefillin is not for women. Well, same thing by avodah. It's not for women because it's day only. So why do you need this whole shtrochpatz over here with psukim? Yes. What do you mean? Let me polish what you're saying. Says Baruch, I think. Just like women are allowed to sit in the sukkah, or women are allowed to take lulav, and according to the Ashkenazim, they even make a bracha. Maybe a woman can potentially, optionally, work in Beis Hamikdash. Many women would probably like to, imagine. Yeah, Kamash Malan that if they did the avodah, it's patul. Wow, that's the whole difference. In other words, we need an extra pasuk because we're going to see a whole load of psukim telling me the women are not just exempt; they're excluded. If a kohenes did the avodah in Beis Hamikdash, that's possible. A kohenes, let's say, did your zrika, your kabbalah. She did a kabbalah sadam. Bad news. So the kabbalah wasn't done. You have to bring chatas again. You turn on the light on Shabbos by mistake, thinking that it's Friday. Oh, another korban. I have to schlep tomorrow to Beis Hamikdash with a big fat sheep. Oy vey. I go to Beis Hamikdash. Oh, new thing. A kohenes. Thank you very much. A bus driver, a woman. Yeah. A kohenes. Yeah, she's coming to do the avodah for me. Also, I wasn't yaitze. Now I have to bring a chatas again. That's enough kamina, which we didn't know before. It's more than exempt. She's completely out of the avodah. Says the Gemara. Yeah, okay. I don't know if that's what you meant, but that's what Tosfos said. There is bracha on on it. No, why? According to Ashkenazim, women can make a bracha. Here they don't. Right. Sorry. You're saying that if they make a broch, it's broch levatola because the mamish exempt, not lakas in the sukkah. Okay, very nice. I hear you. Says the Gemara. How do you know? What are the sources for all these beautiful things the Mishnah says? Says the Gemara. Smichos. How do you know women are not supposed to be soymech? It says daber el bnei Yisrael v'samach. Speak to bnei Yisrael, says Hashem to Moshe, and then it says the next pasuk, samach, he should place his hands on the head of the korban. Bnei Yisrael soymchim and bnei Yisrael soymchos. Bnei and not bnois, the bnois Yisrael are exempt, and therefore not just exempt, but the smicha, by the way, I'm not sure women cannot do smicha. What I said before, I'm not talking here about smicha. That could be a different issue which I want to discuss tomorrow. Yeah, smicha is not an avoida to be discussed, but definitely women don't have to be soymich. That's for sure. Tnufois, yeah, picking up the korban, lifting it up and down. How do you know women are exempt from that? Dabel bnei Yisrael v'heinif. Bnei Yisrael manifin v'bnei Yisrael manifois. Yes, speak to the bnei Yisrael, to the sons, not the daughters. They don't have to do tnufa except for certain nazira. Agoshois is when you get the mincha, you touch the kli of the mincha touches, hits the korban in the southwestern corner. It says there, agoshois dechtiv v'zoistors hamincha. It applies to mincha. Hakrav oiso bnei Aharon. Leakriv, literally to lekarev, to bring close, to bring it close, approach the mizbeach. Bnei Aharon v'lo bnei Aharon. Kmitzois. How do you know that kmitza Yeah, taking the flour with your middle fingers and like this, collecting like that. How do you know it only applies to men and not to women? Dichtive viol bnei Aaron bekomatz. Bnei Aaron v'lo benois Aaron. You should bring it to the bnei Aaron, the sons of Aaron, not the benos Aaron. Haktoros, yeah. Haktoros is to bring things onto the fire, to burn, basically to burn the whatever needs to be burned. The imurim, the evorim of an oilo. Dichtive iktiros bnei Aaron, bnei Aaron v'lo benois Aaron. Yeah. It says bnei and not bnois. So I want to just check something. Yeah. That's exactly what I said. Baruch Hashem. Amelikois. How do you know that basically cutting off the head of the korban of the bird? Yeah, korban oif. How do you know that the melika with the finger applies to men, not to women? Dichtivu molak vehiktir. Molak, you cut the head, and then hiktir, you actually burn. You're talking now about an oilas oif, an oif that goes all in the mizbech to be completely burnt, the head and the body, each one separately. You salt each one and you put it on the mizbeach on the fire. It says molak vehiktir. Iska shmelika lehaktoro. Melika and Ektoro are compared one to the other, just like Ektoro, just like Melika is only, just like Ektoro is only Bnei Aaron, so to Melika only Bnei Aaron and not the girls. Na hakabolos. Kabbalah is the accepting the blood, receiving with the receptacle the blood from the neck of the animal. The blood flows into the kli, and then you do hoilocha. Yeah, you lead it, you take it to the mizbech, and then you do zrika. Dichtiv v'krivu bnei Aaron. Turn the page. V'krivu do kabbalah sadam. V'krivu, yeah, doesn't mean to bring a korban. Ikrivu means to accept the blood, and it says bnei Aaron clearly. V'azois. Oh, v'azois. Yeah, Amud base. How do we know? What did we say? Hazah, I did not tell you what hazah means, right? Hazah either means hazah of Korah Duma, as we're going to see, or hazah is sprinkling. Hazah literally means sprinkling. Either the sprinkling of the Korah Duma, as we're going to see, or the sprinkling of the dam of the bird korban. I will leave that for tomorrow. V'azois, now is 9:25. Tomorrow, Bezos Hashem, Lamed Vav Amud Beis, Lamed Vav Amud Beis, Lamed Vav Amud Beis. Remember, have a great day. Slocha ubrocha b'chol Yomi. May we see Beis Hamikdash being built very, very soon. Shavu l'Tzion berina v'simcha salom al roishom. Shkoyach. Thank you to everyone on YouTube or anytime, here, there, on Zoom. So many people on Zoom today. I wish you all well. Hatzlacha ubrocha. Thank you.